I never imagined I would become the person who resorts to extreme measures, but betrayal has a way of changing a person. My wife, Alisha, had always seemed devoted, loving, and trustworthy, or at least that's what I believed. We had a comfortable life together, a beautiful home, a steady income, and a routine that many people envied. But beneath the surface, I began to notice subtle cracks, late-night texts, whispered phone calls, unexplained absences that planted seeds of doubt in my mind. At first, I tried to dismiss them. I told myself I was overreacting, imagining problems that didn't exist, but the feeling wouldn't go away. Every instinct screamed that something was wrong. I decided to investigate, not recklessly, but carefully. I installed hidden cameras in our home while I was away on a business trip, just to see if my suspicions had any basis in reality. The day I returned, I reviewed the footage. What I saw left me frozen, my mind unable to process the betrayal unfolding before my eyes. Alisha, the woman I had loved and trusted, was with another man. She was laughing, touching, and kissing him intimately, oblivious to the cameras I had installed. It wasn't just a single encounter. The footage revealed multiple instances of her meeting the same man over weeks, carefully hiding her actions from me. Shock turned into a mix of rage and determination. I realized that confrontation alone would not be enough. This was a betrayal that demanded accountability. I began documenting everything, saving the footage, noting the times, the locations, and the details of her lies. My mind became focused, calculating the next steps carefully. I confronted Alisha that evening. She was startled, caught off guard by my calm demeanor. I didn't yell, I didn't cry, I simply played the footage. Her face turned pale and panic flashed in her eyes. It's not what it looks like, she stammered, but the proof was undeniable. I could see years of trust, love, and shared life flashing before my eyes, all shattered by her deliberate choices. Divorce proceedings followed swiftly. I wanted to sever the ties cleanly, ensuring she could not manipulate the situation further. Financially, I protected myself, making sure she could not take advantage of me or the shared assets we had built together. Emotionally, I prepared for the long road of recovery, knowing that betrayal of this magnitude leaves scars that don't fade quickly. But my revenge was not just legal, it was psychological and precise. I made sure her lies and deception were exposed to those who mattered, friends, colleagues, and mutual acquaintances who had admired our marriage. The woman who had once presented herself as devoted and trustworthy was now publicly revealed as deceitful. The humiliation was quiet but devastating, and I didn't have to lift a finger beyond presenting the truth. Karma, in its own way, had already begun to take effect. Meanwhile, Alisha's life began to unravel naturally. The man she had been seeing revealed his own dishonesty, abandoning her when the situation became inconvenient. Friends and family, once supportive, began to question her integrity. Her reputation, carefully curated over years, began to crumble. Every lie, every act of deception, returned to her multiplied, leaving her isolated and desperate. In the weeks and months that followed, I focused on rebuilding myself. I invested time in work, personal growth, and emotional healing. The betrayal that had initially left me numb now became a catalyst for transformation. I discovered resilience, patience, and the power of facing truth head-on. Reflecting on the experience, I realized something profound. Revenge doesn't always require aggression or cruelty. Sometimes simply exposing truth and allowing consequences to unfold naturally is far more effective. Alisha's choices had set the stage for her own downfall, and my role was merely to ensure that truth was seen and acknowledged. By the time the dust settled, I had emerged stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. The pain of betrayal was real, but it no longer defined me. Alisha, on the other hand, faced the consequences of her actions fully: financial strain, social isolation, and the recognition that deceit carries its own inevitable punishment. In the end, my revenge was brutal not because of malice, but because it was precise, inevitable, and undeniable. The cameras didn't just capture her actions, they captured the truth that she could never escape. And in that truth, justice, in its quiet yet devastating form, had been served.